In today's episode, we discuss what is holding you back from focusing.
It's a fun time, neuroscience, psychology, EFT tapping. And at the very end, Chloe has a surprise for you all. Not going to tell you what it is, but there is a little surprise at the end. So stick around to the end. See you on the inside. What up, peeps? We're back, host only, with Chloe and I. Today we're talking about all sorts of fun stuff. Overcoming anxiety, lacking in focus, negative self-talk. It's gonna be a wild time. Welcome, Chloe. Tell the peeps where you're at right now.
I'm in Nuremberg in Germany.
Woo!
So coming at you live from Nuremberg. If there's any car fans out there, I'm at the Nürburgring in Germany.
Dude, you've been all over the world. You're finally settling down a little bit. You're in Canada for a little bit. Now you're back. Now you're in Germany. Pumped to have you there. And first time with the new setup, we got you mics, we got you a different camera angle. Like we're crushing it.
Let's go.
Chloe's been mobile podcasting for a long time, and we finally got her in one place for long enough to get her the tools she needed to be more effective for y'all. So hopefully you're excited to see Chloe more clearly and hear her more clearly.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
I know that I am. Okay, so today we're talking about all sorts of cool stuff. Anxiety, focus, negative self-talk. We're talking about the nervous system. We're going to talk about EFT tapping. Let's start with anxiety. How would you define anxiety?
Ooh, it's a really good question.
Thank you. It's almost like I'm a trauma therapist or something, and I ask questions for a living.
I would define anxiety as an overwhelming and constant fear response that is disproportionate to the actual fear that it's existing.
I actually like that. I like that a lot. I think that's awesome. Do you differentiate between like biological anxiety and psychological anxiety and like mental health versus mental illness? Like, how do you think about that?
So yes, I would differentiate the two. There's a survival response, a level of anxiety or sympathetic activation that is very helpful for us to survive. If a bear or a tiger is chasing us, we need anxiety. We need to go, we need to survive. But then there is the psychological anxiety, which many of us experience on a daily basis, where we have the same level of anxiety or sympathetic activation when it comes to answering an email or getting on a phone call. And our body thinks we're running away from a bear, but it's not. We're actually, in fact, safe. We're experiencing that same level of fear and anxiety and nervous system response.
Got it. Makes sense. The way I think about it a lot too, people come to me all the time. They're saying they're anxious. And oftentimes, I don't know about you, I ask them, how are you sleeping? How are you eating? How's your nutrition? Like, how's your exercise? Like, and they'll say, I'm like sleeping like 5 or 6 hours a night. I'm not working out. I'm not moving my body. I'm not eating the right things. I'm eating late at night, like sugary, caffeinated stuff. And I'm like, interesting that you have anxiety, but it shouldn't be a surprise because your body budget's messed up. And so physiological anxiety, when your body is just in a dysregulated state, and your nervous system is in a dysregulated state, I feel like it's different than the mental illness of generalized anxiety disorder. And then that's different from the difference is mental health versus mental illness. So that's something that I think about a lot. I feel like almost 90%, 90% of the anxiety I see when I work with people is mental health. They do not have generalized anxiety disorder. They have poor mental health, which is coming off as anxious. I don't know if that fits for you or what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because for the most part, I think the mental health anxiety that we're experiencing is I don't feel safe and I need to survive. And so we feel that mentally and we feel that physically. Really simply put.
Dude, something we were talking about the other day, I don't remember when we were talking about this, but you were talking about how anxiety is a part of ADHD. And I had never connected the dots between people with ADHD struggling with anxiety and that being like a correlation or a connection. What is that? Why do people with ADHD struggle with anxiety?
Yeah, a lot of people with ADHD don't know that ADHD and nervous system dysregulation go hand in hand. So ADHD is the inability to regulate dopamine and attention. We also can't very easily regulate your nervous system. So people with ADHD don't feel safe in the moment. They have a tough time being present. And once you learn to regulate the nervous system, then you can really regulate focus and attention.
Gotcha. So focus and anxiety are both really nervous system regulation, or I guess nervous system dysregulation issues.
Completely. Because if you can't feel safe in the present moment, how are you supposed to focus? So
that's a fair point.
The ability to focus is a nervous system state, really. It is a culmination of events, but do you feel safe enough to be present in the moment to focus all of your attention on something? If you don't feel safe in the moment, if you feel dysregulated, you're not going to be able to place all of your attention on one thing because your attention is going to be somewhere else. Oh, I need to run away from this. I need to do that. I don't feel safe focusing on this thing or memorizing this thing or having this conversation.
How would someone know that their nervous system is dysregulated? Like, what are some of the signs that maybe you've experienced?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the signs of nervous system dysregulation would be, the inability to stay focused and present, symptoms of anxiety, racing heart, high blood pressure, racing thoughts, general nervousness, tension. And then we can go a layer deeper where we talk about, different nervous system states, the fight, flight, or freeze. And so there's a lot we can cover here about what a dysregulated nervous system looks like.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I see too is something I see really commonly is they're wired but tired, or tired but wired, whatever way that you kind of want to think about it. But their system's just so out of whack. They're in the hustle and hibernate mode where they're like gas pedal, brake pedal, gas pedal, brake pedal, and they're like crashing and collapsing. Brain fog is another really common one, like memory issues. Like the number of people that come to me saying, I think I have early onset Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. You are not sleeping at all. Your nervous system is completely gas pedaled and you are in a shutdown mode. Of course you can't remember things. That's not important when you're running from a bear, right? And your brain and nervous system don't know the difference. And so those are some of the other signs, a couple of the other signs that I see. Tightness too, like shoulders are clenched, jaw is super tight. I see a lot in jaw, like your TMJ holds a lot of stress and tension, back of your neck, back of your shoulders. Right. Holding your breath constantly, squeezing your hands and your fist constantly are some other signs. Migraines, headaches, things like that are behind your eyes. Like all of these, ringing in your ears can be a sign of some dysregulation in your nervous system. Like there are tons of ways to kind of.
Indigestion even.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good one. Tummy ache. Yeah, that's huge. Our nervous systems there's an entire enteric nervous system in your gut. Like people don't talk about this enough. We talk about the central nervous system. We talk about the peripheral nervous system. We talk about the autonomic nervous system. We talk about the sympathetic and parasympathetic, but we do not talk about the enteric nervous system, which is in your gut. It is an entire new separate nervous system in your freaking gut. People don't talk about this, but you have an ENS. Yeah, we don't need to get there. We don't need to get there, but we'll go there another day. In relation to lacking the focus, I never really thought about what you're describing is your body can't focus. Your nervous system can't focus if you're dysregulated because it's like stressed and worried you're about to be eaten by something. And that makes sense. Is that what it feels like to have ADHD, like in general?
Well, I think there's a few reasons with ADHD why people can't focus. And one big aspect of that is that nervous system regulation. I don't feel safe in the present moment, so I have a really tough time focusing. So I'm going to either direct my thoughts somewhere else, I'm going to fidget, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do anything else to distract me from the present moment because I don't feel safe to focus in the moment. Another thing that causes this lack of focus or inability to focus is a dopamine issue. I just simply don't have enough dopamine, enough drive, enough motivation to get me to the point of being able to even start focusing and bring myself to focus.
Something that I'd be interested to hear is how does one know if they lack focus or they struggle with focus or not? Like what is normal focus versus not? Like I have never been characterized as having ADHD in the lacking motivation or focus zone. I'm scatterbrained sometimes and I think about stuff quickly, but I've never been diagnosed with ADHD or anything like that. You have. How does our focus and motivation differ? Like what's the difference? Help me understand.
Well, it really is a spectrum. And this is the challenge with ADHD is because people with ADHD, one symptom is inability to focus, and then the other symptom is the complete ability to hyperfocus and lose track of time and not even need to drink water or eat or go to the bathroom. And so there's a complete spectrum. And the question you have to ask is, how much is this disrupting your life? And very often we can see this lack of focus actually show up more so in conversations, in interrupting, and not being able to wait until somebody finishes their sentence. And so that's a really good indicator of, okay, how is this person showing up in conversation, and can they focus and stay with the same idea and be patient in conversation?
Oh my God, that is such a great point. Like I've noticed ADHDers in my life are notoriously bad listeners. And when you speak to them, it feels as if they're waiting to say like the next thing on their mind, as opposed to actually listening to you. They don't generally ask questions very well, I feel like. I'm just thinking about people in my life that I know that are kind of like this, and they just go and they'll like ask you a question and then you'll say one thing, and then instead of like asking 4 more follow-up questions on the same topic and going deeper, they just go to the next thing, it feels like. Is that true? Is that a thing?
Yeah, completely. That is very much so an ADHD thing.
Bro,
And many
there's so many
ADHDers are
people.
like very electric, magnetic, great
Yeah.
storytellers to talk to. But you'll have a conversation, you'll want to talk about, hey, maybe I'm going through this breakup, but you'll just try to talk about the breakup and then they'll change topics 5 times on you. And you're like,
Yes,
okay, I didn't get anywhere with my
bro.
breakup conversation.
I have felt that so many times. Just by
Mhm.
this alone, I feel like that's something that you have ADHD though. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily feel that way with you. There are times where, uh, I mean, I was been going through a breakup recently, and when I was going through the hardest stuff, you were there listening, asking questions, attentive, like all the stuff, like, and like holding space pretty well. Like, how did you get from what we just talked about to where you are today?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that people with ADHD and actually everyone on this planet need to know is that presence is a learned skill. It can be taught and it can be trained. And if you are starting out with ADHD, you just have a more difficult time being present, but that's something I've really worked hard to cultivate in my life. And I've done that through mostly meditation and breath work and literally forcing myself to bring myself back in conversations. Because if you would have known me 10 years ago, I was so dissociative. You would talk to me and I would be physically here, mentally somewhere else. And now I've just really learned with breath, like, okay, I'm starting to drift. Bring it back. The most important place in the world is right here, right now, having this conversation and giving this person all of my love and attention. And so that skill, it just gets stronger and stronger with practice over time.
Wow. Yeah, you've gotten much better at that, I feel like, even in the time that I've known you. But I didn't know you like in the throngs of all the wildness. You're pretty present. It's interesting the dissociative piece you mentioned in the work that we do, like one-on-one, some of our clients, you've brought me in with a couple of your ADHD clients to do some of the trauma stuff. And that dissociative piece that you just described seems to be a common thread. Sometimes it feels like it's because I've heard people say it was I dissociate to keep myself entertained. I dissociate to keep myself to be good in the moment. And so I don't misbehave. And I've also heard people say they dissociate to go in their own head and in their own world so that they can work on problems they find important mentally while having to just survive something boring out in the world. I've heard they dissociate to get away from boredom, which people don't realize is a real thing. That is a trauma. Like, what was it like for you, like in relation to dissociation? How does that help you
Yeah,
with your ADHD?
for me, it always just came back to I don't feel safe in the present moment. So how do I escape the discomfort of being here, sitting here with myself, my thoughts and my body in the moment? And so I would dissociate. A lot of times it was just daydreaming, thinking about something else, thinking about food, thinking about somebody else, but just never really being anchored into the present moment. And I even used to like fidget a lot. I still fidget a bit, but it was all just ways for me to escape the discomfort of being present.
What's if you couldn't be present, or if you had to sit in that presence, or you couldn't have dissociated, what was that part of you afraid would happen?
That's a really good question. I'm having a tough time answering that right now. Like, I don't know. It's just that part is definitely like just avoiding discomfort. Like when I look back now I can look at the present moment and I could sit here and not dissociate and just like appreciate the trees and the wind and the air and love it. But 10 years ago, I would say that like that would be really, really scary. Like I need to eat that discomfort away or dissociate it away or pick it away so I don't have to feel this like just discomfort of just being with myself.
That's interesting. So it's this discomfort of being with yourself. So there's something about what you viewed as your core self you were uncomfortable sitting with.
Yeah.
What was that? What aspect of yourself was it that made you uncomfortable to sit with it? Or what character traits, or what was it that was discomfortable to sit with?
I want to say like this like shame or unworthiness, like not feeling good enough.
Got it.
And I think like I always thought my happiness and success and like, yeah, happiness and success and fulfillment was always somewhere out there. Like, and I was always just thinking about what's next, right? Like, what do I have to achieve? What do I have to work towards? What do I have to build? But like all that success and happiness is found in the present moment. Like all there is right now.
Got it. So focus and being able to be in the present moment became easier for you when you stopped looking for love, worthiness, attention, success outside of yourself and found it inside of yourself.
Completely. Yeah. Focus became a lot easier when I, number one, learned to regulate my nervous system to feel safe in my body, safe in the present moment. And then number two, adopting the mentality and having this massive realization that all there is right now. And so we can't control the future. The future only exists in our thoughts and our imagination. And so I would always fast forward to the future in my mind or loop on the future and have anxiety about it. but all there is right now. And so when you can connect to the right now and realize that's all there is, this is where you can access these focus and flow states.
How did you get there? You weren't always like that. Like, how did you get to a place where you found this internally?
A lot of work. Actually, no, it wasn't too much work. It was with the nervous system regulation piece, it was as often as I could, as much as I could, teaching my body that it was safe. And you do that with covering the basics, sleep, nutrition, exercise, surrounding yourself with people that make you feel safe, and then coming back to safety every time you feel dysregulated and learning tools for that. So I love EFT tapping and breath work and acupressure and having this amazing toolkit to just keep coming back every time I don't feel safe. And then training that presence like a muscle. So meditation was really, really helpful for training that.
Got it. Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. It's not like I work in the emotional availability space, emotional intelligence space, and it's the same. It's a similar concept. Like it's a learned skill. Like you're not just born with emotional availability. I would argue though you are born present. I would argue that you really are learning. It's less you're learning how to be present, and it's more you're remembering, or you're forgetting how to be distracted almost.
Yeah, completely.
Like you're extincting a habit as opposed to creating a habit almost, because presence is inside of you. Like that is a core piece of who we are, is present.
I think we can learn the most from infants, because you watch a toddler walk around and they've got so much confidence and they're present in the moment and they're curious and they're not worried about what this person said about them or what they're going to eat for dinner or how much money they're making. Like they're just so alive for the moment and completely present and in a state of like fully experiencing the depth and breadth of life.
100%. I saw this video the other day where it was this little toddler chick and she was like standing on the sidewalk and you hear her screaming, "Can we be best friends?" And then this other little chick on this bike just like careens past her. And as she's careening past, she comes into the screen and she's like, "Yeah, we totally can." And then all of a sudden, the one that was screaming it initially turns to her mom's like, I'll be back later. I'm going to hang out with my best friend. And she just starts sprinting after this chick on a bike. And it's just like, I wish it was that easy to become friends with people in adulthood. And it's like, it's just so pure, so pure.
And the crazy thing is like, it could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be. We just need to strip away all the stuff that's holding us back from that. All these self-doubts and limitations and all these thoughts, all these things are just constructs that we've created and crafted.
Literally. That's what your self-talk, negative self-talk is something we subjectively create ourselves. Like it's not, and there are external environments and trauma and things that can happen outside of your control and outside of yourself that can create these voices in your head. But ultimately it's a story that you continue to tell. So maybe it wasn't put there initially by you, but you're choosing, you've got to take agency at some point, right? And understand that you are in some fundamental way accepting that story, accepting that accepting the criticism and just believing it and letting that story run your life.
You can always tell yourself a better story.
100%. You get me on that all the freaking time. The last few months I've been going through some tough stuff, and there's been so many times where we were talking and you're like, what story are you telling yourself? Like, what are you telling yourself? And usually I'm the person saying that to others, but you've been helping me so much with that. Like, I can just remember 2 or 3 times where we were talking and I was really down. I'm like, fuck, this sucks. Life is terrible. Never, always and nevers and all the stuff. And you're like, what's the story you're saying right now? And you would just ask that. And I was like, instantly reframed. I was like, I feel so much better now. I am telling myself a shitty story. Is this really the best you think you could get? Is this the best the universe could do for you? I'm like, nope. No, it is not. So shout out to you for helping me with that. That's, it's been super helpful.
I'm so glad. It's important. And I mean, I'm guilty of this all the time, is believing these super negative, self-deprecating stories. And how do you know that's true? And everything in life is neutral. We just give things meaning.
I completely agree. And the other thing is something we both kind of struggle with is the like family and friends and all this kind of stuff that don't necessarily understand the path we're on and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish. Like we're not in traditional jobs. We make content. We help people on the internet. We like all sorts of different things. We just it's challenging. And I know we both talked about that, and that can like eat at your soul at times. And I know that having a support network and someone that's on the journey with you can be super, super powerful and helpful in breaking that pattern and breaking that self-talk when your environment is not supportive necessarily.
Completely. And I think it's always just good to have people in your life that you can trust when you can't trust your own mind.
Oh my God, that's so true. Dude, that is exactly what you've been helping. You and CJ both have been helping me so much with that. That's the exact thing both of y'all have been helping me with, and some of my other friends and stuff. But that's perfectly framed. People that you can trust when you can't trust your own mind. Dude, you've got to have 5 or 6 of them people in your life at all times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's so important. That's gold right there. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The other thing too is like the stories you tell yourself, like you can reprogram these things. And I saw this video the other day about this guy, and he's like, "You are the one." That was his hook. He's like, "You're the one," and he's like, and I don't even believe. I mean, you know me. I'm not the like. You would have loved it. I'll send it to you. But he's like, every 7 years, there is a trailblazer that is born in a family lineage, and you're the one that will change everything, that will make your family wealthy, that will get them out of the negative traumatic trauma mindsets, and you'll break the cycle, and you are the one. And I'm like, damn, that's a empowering mindset, like to help you keep going when all this negative talk and all this pressure from the outside's coming through. Is like, I'm the one. This is part of the journey, baby. It wouldn't be a come up story if this shit wasn't happening, because I'm the one.
Or like, we've both been studying Kabbalah lately, and like 2 concepts from that is like, everything is good. Like something perceivably bad happens, pause, say what a pleasure, and everything is good. Even just like, you know, you get a massive bill. Well, maybe now because I got this massive bill, I have to learn how to make way more money to pay for that massive bill. And then I've realized I've made an incredible business model, paid off that bill, made way more money than ever before. And so you don't know really how life is going to play out. And so everything is good. Everything is for expansion. And I really love the concept of how, like, what's my movie? And so if I'm the main character going through this experience, this challenging experience in the movie, like, what is this main character supposed to learn? And having a story around, okay, this is just like the plot twist or the plot thickens or the part where the character gets really, really strong.
Dude, couldn't agree more. You've turned me on to that. David from Loosey Goosey turned us on. David Sorkin.
David Sorkin, and then David Guillaume for the knowledge.
Yeah, David Guillaume. I was about to say for the Kabbalah course or whatever. It's so interesting. I literally, ever since you shared your thing, I have "What a Pleasure" on a note card with me at all times.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
That's, and then why is this in my story? Why is this in my movie? Has been a question that I've been asking over and over and over as I'm going through this breakup and stuff. I mean, it has been so freaking helpful. And you sent me the course, and I just left it unread for like almost a week probably, because I just was too busy or whatever. And now I've been going through it like religiously, and I say "What a Pleasure" and "Why is this in my story" hundreds of times a day now. Like it is so useful. It's been so helpful as I'm going through some of this challenging stuff and just asking, why is this my story? Why is this in my story? What's my cocoon? What am I learning? What a pleasure. Yes. Like, and just, it's shout out to David, shout out to you, and shout out to David squared, both Davids, and shout out to you for getting my ass on this in this. So that's been super helpful. Okay, cool. Well, I think that we've kind of covered the gambit here. We talked about anxiety, we talked about focus, we talked about negative self-talk. Any thoughts or wrapping thoughts in relation to the pod today?
Yeah, actually, one more thing to add on to this, telling yourself a story, because your identity will also drive a lot of your behavior. And so when it comes to focusing and achieving big things in life, what you think about yourself is incredibly important. That will, from a neurochemical perspective, that will impact your dopamine. Your identity will also drive your behavior. So if you believe that you can't focus, that you suck, that you're not good enough, that you're not likable, you're not lovable, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and your brain will look for ways to make that come true. But if you believe that you're smart, you can focus, you can achieve anything in this life no matter what, your brain will also look for ways to make that come true. So that's also a really, really important aspect of all of this.
Dude, 100%. And it's social psychology and cognitive neuroscience supports this for sure. Your environment is one of the biggest predictors of your mental and emotional health because of the effect your environment has on your identity. Because your identity drives your feelings, thoughts, actions, behaviors, beliefs, every single thing, all of it. And you've wired and fired it in. By age 35, 95% of what you think, feel, and do every day is the same. And that's the identity that you've wired and fired into yourself, but it's plastic. You can change it, okay? So what you're saying is so freaking important to help people have agency over these things, because you can shift your identity. It takes about 63 to 84 days to do so. Go neuroscience. Dr. Caroline Leaf, love you. Research from her is awesome stuff. So okay, cool. Speaking of 63 to 84 days, you've got a course that you just or not a course, an accelerator. It's a program, right? And you're only letting a few people in or something like that. Tell us more about that.
We're doing a small group, so we can have a really close-knit group, 16 girls who are going to master their attention and magnetism. So this is the ultimate ADHD accelerator, taking you from procrastinated, distracted, disorganized, free state, dysregulated, and teaching you all the tools that I have and bringing community together to go from disorganized and focused to focused, free, in alignment, and ultimately taking massive and major steps towards your dream life.
And if I remember correctly, you're actually paying people $500 if they accomplish their goal that you set with them at the start of the accelerator. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. To motivate and incentivize you to achieve your goal that you set out before the course starts and to become more motivated, focused, and free, we want to add a little financial incentive. So if you achieve that goal, make it through the course, you will get $500 back.
Let's go. When have you heard that before? Ladies and gentlemen, you get paid for being in an accelerator, being in this group. That's awesome. I'm excited for that. What's it called?
Neuromagnetic.
Damn, that's a cool name. Neuromagnetic. Okay, cool. How do people sign up? We can obviously put a link below, but where else could they go?
Yeah. Go to my Instagram, click on my stand store. So my Instagram is at Chloe Goes Inward, and you'll find the link in bio there. The course is called Neuromagnetic.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. And I'm a guest lecturer, if you will. Like I get to one of the things like I get to help with the trauma one, correct?
Cody's doing trauma. Yeah. A big
Let's go.
portion of what holds people back from focusing and stepping into their most like magnetic and powerful self is trauma. So we've got to get that out of the way.
Yes.
And you're the person for it. So let's go.
Woo, let's go. All right, cool. I'm excited. Well, we'll drop all that information in the comments below and we'll talk more about this in future episodes too, I'm sure. But I'm excited. When does it start? When is the final bell?
October 15th.
October 15th. All right, get in before October 15th. You've got some bonuses too, don't they? You were telling me about this the other day. What's the September bonus? If they sign up in September, they
get a free coaching call with me. And they get to join early. So there's going to be lots of little bonus modules, especially working on that nervous system regulation piece. The more regulated you are showing up to this thing, the more results you're going to get out of it.
Damn. Okay. Well, get in early. You get a free session with Chloe and you get to win money back. I don't know what more incentive you could possibly need. I wish I could sign up. Sadly, I am a man and I don't have ADHD. So whoopsies. All right, sweetness. If y'all like hearing Chloe and I yap about neuroscience, psychology, nervous system regulation, and all sorts of everything in between, our wild personal stories and lives, make sure to hit subscribe. We would love to see you. And if you have a brand, if you have a topic, if you have an expert you want us to talk to, drop it in the comments or DM us on Instagram. We love hearing from you. But that's all we got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.